For as long as I can remember, I've always been told that men are the hornier of the two genders, and men are willing to do anything for sex, and they don't care as long as a girl's hot. They don't care anything about her. They will sleep with crazy women. They will do all kinds of stupid things. All it takes is just their wiener gets hard, and they can't stop themselves. Well, I'm here to tell you today that that's not necessarily true. Women who want to get laid will do just as many stupid things as men. As evidence, I've got a social experiment. Now, this was posted on Twitter by this user. So I just wanted to show you the profile real quick so I can give credit to where I found this. You can obviously go and follow them on X and take a look and see what's going on there. But all of the screenshots that I share, including that one, I'm going to share for 1 second. And then you can pause and read if you want to, but I'm going to read off of my other phone so that I can keep the video going for people that are just listening to the video in the background. So in this social experiment, they created 2 Tinder profiles of men. So this first one, so I'm going to read you what his profile says, and I'm going to show you a picture, and then I'm going to show you what happened with women with whom he matched. So first things first, here's the profile. Now it says Ray, 23 years old, less than a kilometer away. Aspiring model, watch out for me in GQ in a couple of years. You should know I've had trouble with the law my whole life, convicted 3 times for rape of a child, and once for sexual activity with a child, but to be frank, she turned 16 like a week later, so it was super unfair. But whatever. I'm on Tinder because maybe if I fuck some of you sluts, I'll stop wanting to be with kids. Unlikely, Lamau. They're way tighter than your beef curtain cunts. I hope you can therefore forgive me for my past crimes. There's Ray. There's Ray. Ray's a heartthrob. So this is obviously someone that, completely untenable, completely evil, degenerate scum that needs to be locked up forever or just gone entirely. But he's so pretty that women responded well to him. Take a look at these screenshots. Here Julia says, "Hello, handsome. How's your week going?" Well, Julia must just love men that diddle little kids because apparently she didn't read the profile, or she did and she just doesn't care. I mean, who matches with somebody without at least looking at their profile? Because on Tinder, I imagine you're looking to make sure that that person doesn't have kids, or they're not super, super creepy, or that they're not a bot. Because I'm sure, like every other dating site on the planet, there's tons of bots. So you at least take a cursory glance, right? Well, maybe Julia just didn't see it, but take a look at this one. So there are 3 women on this screenshot, and Amber says, "I can absolve you of your sins tonight." Well, Amber just seems like she doesn't care that Ray is a convicted child rapist, and she's going to lay down with this man and let him do whatever he wants to her because he's just so darn pretty. Now, Maria says, "Hey, are you living in London?" Wanting to meet up with this guy that, like I said before, you have to look at the profile in order to match with him, so at least I assume. I've never actually been on Tinder. Agnes said, "Well, hey there, gorgeous. How are you?" The fact that this guy is just so damn good looking makes it so it just doesn't seem to faze these women. These women are perfectly okay with trying to bed a child rapist because he's hot. That's wild, man. That's wild. Now, have a look at this one. Molly says, "Hey, when I was 7, I stole a gumball from my corner store and felt guilty about it for years. I guess that makes us equally as evil?" And of course, Ray responds, "I'm surprised you're still out roaming the streets after so heinous a crime. We should both be locked up. I don't think I'd mind as long as we're locked up together." And then she says something about handcuffs. And then asks if he's a native Londoner, and then gives personal details and asks Ray to come and spend the night with her, and gives her address. She looks at this guy, says, "Oh, well, he's a child rapist. Well, he's probably changed his life around," and gives him her address so she can sleep with him. Amazing. And finally, we have Lexi, who says, "What are you doing tonight?" And then he responds, "You." And she says, "Good answer. Come on over." And then he says, "Where are you based?" And she gives her address. Crazy. All of these women lusting after a man who puts that he is a child rapist in his profile on the dating app. They don't care. He's hot. They don't care at all. It blows my mind that first of all, that this dude was allowed to come on Tinder after he had put that he had raped somebody. But second of all, that people responded positively to this. Good God, how trashy can you be? Now let's take a look at the second profile. Meet Chad. Chad has a profile that says, Chad is jacked, by the way. Like, my God, Chad is just chiseled out of stone. Chad, 29, works at Kids R Us. Nice touch to the people that designed this experiment, by the way. His bio says, "Sup, I'm Chad. You don't like me? Too bad. Things you should know about me, because all you see the ankle monitor. I'm a convicted child rapist / molester. It's in my past. I made some mistakes, but I'm working each day to fix them. Looking for fun. Longer stuff is cool, but can't be around in a month because I have to go back to jail for stupid thing between me and my ex. She is overreacting about a few slaps I gave her a year ago. Hit me up. Ain't that bad? Seriously." Now, beyond the fact that he uses all of these abbreviations for literally everything, Chad is not only a pedophile. Oh no, Chad also beats women. But, of course, women, being the more highly evolved species, the smarter of the two genders, women poured into Chad's inbox. Take a look at this. Here is unnamed woman number 1, who says hi, and he says, yeah. She says, hey. And he says, I said, yeah. Also, read my profile and get back to me. You probably didn't even do that, okay? So, first of all, he's directing them to the profile. So, with the first one, you maybe could make the argument that some of those women hadn't actually read his bio, so they may not know what sort of craziness he did, what sort of crazy crimes he had committed. Whereas this time, they make no mistake about it. This round, they're making sure that these women have seen what happened, and they are going to have good data to collect here. So she goes and reads the bio and then says, I read it. Are you for real? Is that a joke or what? And he said, it's real. It was only one kid. He was 8, and in my mind, it felt consensual. But it's over now, and I'm trying to move on. She says, wow, not really sure what to say. I guess it's cool you've been honest about it, though. He says, yep, so what are you doing right now? Anything cool? And she said, just bored and on Tinder looking for fun and stuff. Yourself? Are you from wherever it is she lives? She lets this go. The fact that this guy raped an 8-year-old boy does not faze this woman. She is going to get laid, damn it, and nothing is going to get in her way. All I can say is I hope she doesn't have kids. Moving on. This is unnamed woman number 2. Unnamed woman number 2 says, and we matched. Hiya. And he responds with, if you didn't read my profile already, I'm going to turn my phone sideways because this font is almost too small. That didn't help. I'm turning it back. I can hold it better this way. If you didn't read my profile already, check it out. Explains why I wear an ankle monitor, and you'll probably see why my clothes are off. Which you'll probably see when my clothes are off. Oh, so he's already getting to it. She says, ew, what the fuck? Is that serious? And he says, lol. She says, question mark. He says, yes, it's serious, and it's in the past. Take it or leave it. She says, I'm speechless. How old was the kid? It is disturbing that both of these women, their first question is, how old was the kid? How old was the kid? The fact that he was convicted of child rape, first of all, it's rape. And second of all, they were at least under the age of consent. And I think that this was done in England. So I think that, 16? So they're under 16. This is a grown-ass 29-year-old man convicted of raping someone under 16. Do you need to ask how old they were before you block him? No, you don't. I'm going to answer the question for you. But apparently this woman needed a little bit more than that to chase her off. Because he said the kid was 2.5. And she said, that's super fucked up, man. Honestly, would just rather stop talking about it. Is that okay? I didn't say I was done talking to you about other stuff. And he says, yeah, no problem. I don't rape anymore. It's cool. She is fine with talking to him about other things, even though he admitted to raping a 2.5-year-old. What do you say? What do you say? What do you say to someone like this? What do you say? Like, is she that desperate that she will go and sleep with a convicted child rapist? Jesus Christ. Now, this highly intelligent 23-year-old that you just saw says, "Hi there." And, of course, Chad says, "Doesn't even matter what I say, does it?" And she says, "Huh?" And he says, "Look, just read my profile, see what I did, and then brush it aside so we can go ahead and smash already, okay?" God, this is like what is the worst nightmare of people. You know, a rapist who can't even be bothered to flirt with you. He's just like, "Look, drop the panties, girl. Let's do it." And she says, "So your plan here is to boss me around and expect me to do everything you say, because why?" And he says, "Forget it." She says, "You give up easy, don't you?" He said, "Whatever." She said, "Calm down, silly. I read your profile. Can we move on now?" And he said, "And there it is, for fuck's sake." And she says, "What?" And he says, "Forget it." This woman is still so centered on wanting to talk to this guy that she's like, "Yeah, I read your profile. Now let's move on and talk about other things, i.e., put it in me, daddy." Like, this chick is just wanting to get laid, and she does not care that she's sleeping with a child rapist. And finally, we have this one. This unknown 27-year-old says, "Your photos just made my day." And our buddy Chad says, "Okay." She says, "Okay to you too. Geez, you don't like compliments?" He says, "You're good. Make sure you read my profile, though. Seriously." She says, "Yeah, I read it, and yes, I'm okay with it, as long as you're a different person. We all make mistakes." Yeah, no, honey, we do not all make these mistakes. We do not all rape people. This is an unforgivable crime as far as I'm concerned. If you rape somebody, I'm sorry, you should have no more nuts. But at the very least, we should ostracize you from society. You don't get to do that. He says, "Sweet. Not everyone thinks like that. Some people think it's terrible to molest kids and I should be killed. And the little boy was 6, so it wasn't a baby or anything. What are you up to, though?" And she says, "Well, it sounds like you've been through a lot and learned your lesson. Right now, I'm cooking dinner. And you?" She brushes that off as if he just said he was going to go get the mail. He said that it was a freaking 6-year-old. And then he says he's horny AF. She said, "You're kind of blunt." He said, "So you live close?" And she said she's however many minutes away. And here we are. I cannot even begin to tell you how disturbing it is that, like, grown-ass people are willing to just brush aside the rape of a 6-year-old, an 8-year-old, and even a 2.5-year-old just to get their rocks off. Women on Tinder, man, I always say that being on Tinder is a red flag. Being on a dating app is, generally speaking, a red flag in my opinion. I've never been on a dating app, never wanted to use a dating app. I think they're terrible. I think that you should meet somebody and become their friend before you decide you want to fuck them, instead of meeting and knowing that you want to fuck and then trying to learn about each other, because everyone's going to be fake because everybody just wants to have sex. I would say these women probably, if they ran into this guy and he wasn't good looking, they would be like, "Ew." They'd be like, "Throw him in jail." They'd be like, "Execute him now." But because he's a good looking dude, they're willing to throw aside anything by way of scruples because they want to get laid. What the hell is our society? I'm going to stop lecturing you now, but that actually really, really annoyed me. But yeah, that's about all.